Merry Christmas to all Vanguard nerds, I'm Babblerab, and this is me catching up on 2 deck profiles that I got, that I ran out of time to post because RPG Maker sucks away the entirety of one's life. So, first of the 2 is the Dream Team Legion. I may not even actually show the second one because you've already seen the Prism deck profile that I did a little while ago, and pretty much it's the exact same thing, so I might just jump straight to the Christmas one. But we'll see what happens. So, I'm just going to jump straight into this deck. The gimmick of it I will explain once we get to the grade 3s. So yeah, so starters, I'm playing 3 copies of Prism Miracle Coro. What she does is whenever a Bermuda Triangle unit bounces back to your hand, she can return herself to your hand for free. So I'll explain why she's good later. Then for 6 crit, I'm playing slightly less than average grade 3s, and there's a particular grade 3 I want to get to. This is a Prism Dream team deck. So the idea is you want to get to Vert before you get to Madre. And then Vert just allows for some early game pressure because I do play Princess Labrador. And then Madre is kind of your end game just to prevent yourself from dying. So 4 of her because I want to have the highest chance of seeing Vert first, and then 2 more crit. Christmas came early this year, guys. Then I'm playing 6 draw. This is useful because you need to get to your combo pieces as quickly as possible in this deck because there's a lot of cards that you do need to get access to. Those being more than 1 copy of Coro in addition to your starter, Magical Charge Vita, and then of course the main grade 3 Madre, or if you don't have a Vert, you need to get to a Vert. Another key part here is because Vita Soul Blasts to use her skill, she's good too because she can put herself into your soul, which keeps your soul at a fairly decent size. So that's important. And then, as I said, the draws just help you get to the pieces that you need to a lot quicker. And then playing 4 heals, making them Prism heals because this deck is part Prisms. Grade 1s. 4 Mona. Mona's counterblast 1, bounce a unit to your hand. Madre gains 5k every time a unit bounces to your hand when she's in Legion. So Mona, plus if you have like 2 Coros, means that she's gaining 15k once you call Mona down, so that's really, really good. So she's just there to allow you to enable enable you to power up your Legion more than once, because the Legion can bounce stuff to your hand as well. And then we're playing 3 copies of the Strat Enabler, because you do need to get to GB1 in this deck in order for you to get to your central play. 3 Puumo, she can call down some other units, or she can call down other stuff when she's called to guard, and she's a 10k guard. So I think what you're supposed to actually do with her is after you've bounced Vita to hand, when your opponent's now doing their attacking, you would go guard with Puumo. Puumo's now 10k, call Vita to like back row so it can't be retired. And then during your turn, if you stride, you go Vita skill, bounce to hand, then you can unflip it damage. So that's nice. I believe that's what you're supposed to do. But the fact she's a 10k guard means it's even tougher for you to get killed. They're playing 4 perfect guards because we don't want to die. I got the 4th one in the mail today. Yay, Christmas gift. Grade 2s. We are playing 4 Vita. This is the centerpiece of the deck alongside with Coro, where are all my Coros? They're there. So the idea is after you've hit GB1 and you have Madre as your Vanguard, you would go on your opponent's main phase, Soul Blast 1, return it to your hand, and then every single copy of Coro that you have on the field, bounce that to your hand. And then during your opponent's turn, Madre will be getting 5k for every single one of those units that got bounced to hand. Pretty good. So 26k Vanguard on your opponent's turn. That's pretty mean. And just 2 copies of Dios. I don't want to see her too much, honestly, but I need to play more than 1, so if I damage check her, or if she hits, or if I have to ride her, I will at least have a second one in deck. So, yeah. 3 Avon. Avon gains 5k every time a unit is bounced. If you're doing the Coro and Vita shenanigans, she'll be a 17k unit on your opponent's turn, which is obviously not too easy to attack and pretty easy to protect from attacks. And then I think my plan was to drop Avon down, I believe. I'm playing 2 Slaney. She's basically your grade 2 version of Mona. So that's important again because you want to be able to re-enable or loop the power-up skill with as many bounces as possible. So yeah, and the other important thing is she's a Prism duo, so when you are going and using, what's her face, where are you? Your Prism crit, you could, or if you're on grade 2, you can go and do that stuff. Or fetch your Vert. Playing 3 copies of Prism Image Vert. She is ideally the first one you want to ride, hence why I'm playing the crits to fetch her. What's also important is that since she is a Prism, it enables you to go for Princess Labrador, and Princess Labrador is a phenomenal early game, or phenomenal first stride, and a good early game pressure unit, which is very important in the early game in my opinion, because I believe Prisms are good at putting pressure on the opponent, for lack of a better description. So it's just instead of having to worry about a bit of a slower startup, if you have the right setup, you can just start punching your opponent in the face right off the get-go, and then when you want to transition over to Legion after you've burnt through resources, you can go and do Legion. And the centerpiece of the deck for late game, 4 copies of Dream Team Madre. I will read what she does for you. When your units are returned from your hand to rearguard, if she's in Legion, she gains 5k until end of turn. You can counter bless 1, soul bless 1, choose one of your rearguards, bounces to your hand, but it can't be used for the rest of the turn. So this doesn't specify on whose turn, so that basically allows you to do the main I'm not gonna die combo of the deck, which is after you've hit GB1, Magical Charge Vita skill, soul blast 1, bounce it to your hand, take every Coro that you have, return those to your hand. She'll be gaining 10 to 15k or 10 to 20k on your opponent's turn, and when I last checked, it's kind of difficult to hit a Vanguard with a base power of 26 to 31,000. So yeah, that's kind of why this deck is pretty mean. Yeah, so the original build of the deck that I kind of based this off of, or got the idea for what I should be running from, was actually using it was using a Harmony engine instead. So I was playing, I think, 3 Loris instead of 3 Vert. I've always I've always liked Prisms, and I thought that Prisms would play a more offensive role, so that's kind of why I went with Vert instead of Loris. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to jump to the Stride deck now. So, because half our heart cards are Prisms, I'm playing 4 Princess Labrador. Reason being is that you have 4 just so you have an extra turn of pressure with Labrador if you don't want to go into Madre right off the get-go. What she does, for everyone who doesn't know, is unflip a copy of herself, choose, if you have a Prism heart card, choose up to 2 units, they gain 5k power, and after they attack or boost, they return to your hand. So that's pretty good. Yep. So, yeah, good pressure, very powerful card. Then, playing 4 Olyvia, because it's Olyvia. I don't even think I'm going to bother explaining this. 1 Somni, 1 Elprina. What I may actually just do is just say screw it and go just straight for 2 Elprina here instead of 1 Somni. Somni's good, though, because if she hits, she bounces the unit and calls the unit from hand, so it's extra attacks. And I just realized I do not play Spike in this deck. That is actually impressive. Me not playing Spike in a Bermuda Triangle deck. Very good. But Elprina, what she's good for is she can power up your Avons, so that's also good. Not sure if I'm gonna run 2 of her or not, but 1-on-1 for now. Your deck is so GB reliant, so you must have Sebreeze just so you can get to your GB1. You don't necessarily need to be able to have strides that can actually do anything. You just need to get to GB1, which means by either G-guarding or Sebreezing, you need to hit GB1, because once that happens, Vita becomes live, and you're able to start the shenanigans up. I mean, if your opponent grade 2 games you, you're in a bit of trouble, but hopefully you've just got, hopefully you got Vert as your first Vanguard instead of Madre. But, yeah. This deck does also lose to grade 1 Rush, unfortunately, but I think a lot of my decks do, because most of them do need to get to GB to get their main strats off. 1 Dizmel, just because if you can't get Vita off the field, he's a good backup, and then 2 Nasha, 2 Leona. She's basically the same thing as Vita. She can trigger your Coro bouncy bounce and basically power up a shit ton of stuff. The best part is that you don't even need to be at GB1 to actually use her, so you can just go G-guard with Leona if you're not at GB1, bounce Vita to hand her or another unit, bounce all your Coros, and then if you're in Legion, your Madre just powers up like huge numbers as usual. Anyway. So this is the first build of the deck. I'm still figuring out what cards I do and don't like in the deck. It's a little bit more bricky than some of the other decks, minus, say, Reindeer. But overall, once this thing gets to its main strategies, it's pretty scary, and I really enjoy playing this deck. So, if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Any suggestions about the deck, same place. And I'm Babblerab, and I'll see you guys in the next deck profile, which will probably be happening about 20 minutes from now, give or take. Depends on when everything uploads. Peace.